How's it going, traders? Hopefully you guys enjoy this weekly Forex forecast, and make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Alright, starting things off with the US dollar index. There are no Cot reports for this week due to it being a holiday, so that is why there will be no Cot reports in this whole video. But if you look at the weekly chart here of the US dollar, clearly we are breaking demand on the weekly chart here, pulling back quite a bit on the US dollar. So we've clearly lost some momentum as that weekly demand has been removed, and it's even more visible here on the daily chart. So in my opinion, I think there is more downside to come on the US dollar, although it is very possible that price does pull back and retraces because nothing just drops forever. So I think it's very possible that price does retrace up to this daily supply zone on the DXY that is located at 109.6. And then from there, I think we could start to look for shorts on the US dollar index. But right now, if you look even at the lower time frames on my top right screen and my bottom right screen, you can clearly see that we do have downtrends on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame. So in my opinion, looking for shorts in the US dollar right now is a decent idea based on those trends. But in my opinion, shorts are the highest odds situation only on day trading timeframes. But if we do get a pullback up to this H4 area of supply at 107.99, then I think looking for shorts on a 15-minute chart in that area would also be a decent idea. So I think that there is more, to kind of summarize the whole US dollar, I think that there is more downside to come since we have lost momentum on the weekly and the daily chart. But also at the same time, I think it's very possible we do start to see the rally up as a pullback and then a push down on the US dollar. And right now, I'm not really seeing any significant areas of demand where the dollar could turn around. So I think that we could see more US dollar falling to come. All right, on to the forecast for the Euro USD. As you can see, we've clearly lost momentum here, especially on the daily chart is very, very visible. And we are actually sitting inside of this weekly supply zone on my top left screen. And as you can see, we are almost breaking through that supply. So in my opinion, the euro is looking very, very strong right now. Now, kind of similar to the US dollar index, there's a few options. If you look at the daily chart here, there's a pretty significant daily area of demand at 1.007 right here that I have in my charts. So you could either, if you're looking to get in long, what you could do, you could either wait for that pullback down to this daily demand, and at that point we can look for a 1-hour confirmation trade to the long side. And if you don't know what confirmation trading is, check out my trading tips playlist, links in the description down below. And you can look for confirmation coming off of that daily demand. Or if you come to a 4-hour chart, since we have a 4-hour and a 1-hour uptrend, you could also be looking for set and forget trades to the upside. I also have a video on that because I'm not going to break down how to take these trades in this video. This is more of a forecast. So check out the trading tips playlist in the link down in the description. So you could be looking for set and forget trades to the upside on a 15-minute, 1-minute, or a 5-minute chart. Or if you want, you could wait for this 4-hour area of demand to be hit. That is located at 1.02. So if you get a pullback down to this 4-hour area of demand, you could wait for that demand to be hit, and you could look for a 15-minute confirmation trade coming off of that demand. So that's all I pretty much see here on the Euro USD chart. It's either that or we wait for new 4-hour areas of demand or even 1-hour areas of demand to be formed where we can then look to get in long. And I don't really recommend shorting right now. So I would either wait for pullbacks to daily zones or 4-hour zones or look for set and forget trades long. But in my opinion, longs right now should only be on day trading timeframes unless, like I said, we can get that pullback down to 1.007, and then at that point we can look for longs on a 1-hour chart looking for confirmation. Remember, if you guys do want my daily chart analysis and much more, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership. Links in the description down below. For only $5 CAD per month, it's the lowest tier. You can sign up and get my daily chart analysis and much more. I'd be happy to see you guys join the team with all the other members. All right, looking at gold, XAUUSD forecast. The past week, we've clearly seen a huge up move in gold. It's pretty much impossible to not recognize that. And this is a move that I did call out for quite a long time as price reacted off of my weekly demand zone and a 3-month demand zone that I had out on the charts. So I'm very happy to see that that prediction has come true. But now we have to wait for some trading setups. Now, there are a few options here. If you look at the top right screen, in the bottom left screen, we clearly have an uptrend on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart. So I think looking for day trading longs on 1-minute, 5-minute, and even a 15-minute chart, I think that that's definitely okay. to look for longs only on those time frames. Or what I think is more plausible and what I'm personally waiting for, since I am a swing trader, if you look on a daily chart here, we have a very, very significant area of demand here, and even a little bit of a demand zone right here. But the daily demand zone that I'm concentrated on is this demand zone here at 1722. So what I'm waiting for, and to be very clear, I am waiting for this daily demand to be hit, and at that point, I will hop down to a 1 hour chart, and then I'll start to look for a shift in momentum on the 1 hour chart and look to get in long as we come off of that daily demand. So I am kind of expecting gold to pull back to 1722. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but usually when we see, you know, such an explosive move like this, usually we start to pull back to demand zones and react off of them. So hopefully we can get that pullback. I personally wouldn't be looking for day trading longs on day trading timeframes based on how fast this move has gone up. So I do suspect gold to pull back, and I will definitely have my alert set at 1722, waiting for that daily demand to be hit, where I will look for longs. And then there's clearly a lot of profit margin here in the weekly chart. We have profit margin at least to 1800, and in even longer term profit margins at about 1940 on gold as I'm looking at this weekly chart. So pretty exciting times on gold. I think that patience will pay off here. Instead of trying to chase price, I think we should be waiting for pullbacks to higher time frames where we can get an even better entry long using confirmation. All right, looking at USDJPY forecast. The past week, we clearly lost momentum in all of the US dollar pairs. It's not a shocker, or sorry, maybe it is a little bit shocking. But looking at the USD yen here, it's clear we were due for a pullback. And in my opinion, we are pulling back right into this weekly area of demand. And if I take a look at the 1 month chart, let's take a look. And there's almost basically a monthly area of demand that's located here as well. So I do think we could see USD yen pull down as deep as about 135.8. I do think that is certainly an option, but right now we are pulling back to this weekly area of demand at 138.2. Now, since we do have a weekly uptrend still, I still want to be looking for longs in the USD yen, because who knows, the US dollar could continue to go up. So it's a little bit of a confusing time right now. There are a few options. If you want to be shorting, I only really recommend shorting on day trading time frames, like a 1 minute, 5 minute, or a 50-minute chart, and that is because we have a 4 hour and a 1 hour downtrend. So shorting on those lower time frames is definitely okay. There's also this 4 hour area of supply that I will show you guys right now at 141.468. If price does pull back to this 4 hour area of supply, you could be looking for a 50-minute confirmation trade to the short side, looking to potentially take profit pretty early or right at the low if that is the low. So that is one option. Look for confirmation coming off of that 4 hour supply zone. Another option, since we are reacting off of, basically we're about to react off this weekly demand, I do think we could see a little bit of a pullback on the USD yen, and we are actually contacting this daily area of demand. But since we have lost trend clearly here on the daily chart, I don't really hold this daily demand as too much weight, although I do think we could see a reaction on this lower daily demand at 137.142. I think getting in long right now is definitely a little bit risky. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking swing trade longs until we can see this daily supply removed. And why this daily supply? Well, this daily supply located at 145.093 has been responsible for removing this significant demand zone down here, and basically this one as well. So if price does end up rallying, I think we could see a reaction like this off of this daily supply zone at 145.093. So as far as trading the USD yen goes right now, I think shorts are definitely most suited on day trading timeframes. And as far as longs go, technically longs are the highest odds thing to be doing because we do have a weekly uptrend. But I would wait for this weekly demand to be hit, and then I would start to look for confirmation. And confirmation will be on the 4 hour chart if we can get this 4 hour supply removed. So I would be thinking shorts on lower time frames, and I would only be thinking longs if we can start to see the 4 hour and maybe even the daily chart start to see another momentum shift to the upside on USDJPY. GBPUSD forecast week. Clearly, it's definitely a pattern this week. We have even lost momentum on the weekly chart on the GBPUSD. So in my opinion, we are probably going to pull back to about 1.20 at this weekly area of supply. So I think longs on lower time frames here are definitely okay. I don't know if you guys have noticed the theme in the video. longs are definitely best suited since we have a 4-hour uptrend here. Longs are going to be best suited based on a 4-hour chart on like lower time frames, like a 50-minute, 5-minute, or a 1-minute chart. So I think looking for longs is definitely okay on those time frames. Another option here, which I could see possibly showing a trading opportunity, is this area of daily demand right here. So if we can get a pullback to this daily demand right here, I'll be interested in getting in a long trade at 1.14835 on GBPUSD on this daily chart. So it's a little bit of a confusing time. We still have overall weekly downtrends, so I'd want to be getting in short, but I wouldn't even be thinking about getting in short just yet until we can hit this weekly supply that I just talked about at 1.201. So if we can get a reaction off this weekly supply on a 4-hour chart, I would be interested in getting in short, but we just need to kind of trap traders in long for now, and that's why I'm personally holding off on longs unless we can get a retracement back to this daily demand like I talked about at 1.14. And then I think looking for longs on lower time frames is definitely better. But like I said, confusing time this week, and without the call reports as well, it makes it a little bit more difficult to see what's going on and what they've been doing the past couple weeks. But I do think there is a little bit of meat to the upside for potential longs on day trading time frames. But who knows? We could see a deeper pullback and then a bigger push up, which I think is actually more likely. So like I said, confusing times in the GBP, USD, and most of the charts this week. So if you have been losing trades the past month, trust me, I wouldn't hang your head low. I would definitely keep your head hanging high because it is a very choppy market and times are very, very confusing now, especially since the US midterms are taking place right now. All right, on to the USDCAD, the Canadian dollar, my home country, in case any of you guys did not know. This is a pretty interesting chart. We have 4-hour downtrends and 1-hour downtrends. So like I said with most of the other pairs, shorts on lower time frames like 5-minute, 1-minute, or 15-minute chart are definitely okay in my opinion. Now, if we do get a pullback to this 4-hour area of supply at 1.351, then I think looking for a little bit of a 15-minute confirmation trade to the short side would definitely be okay. That is definitely one option here on USDCAD. And if you look on the weekly chart, there's clearly a little bit of profit margin left to this weekly demand that's located at 1.31746. So there is profit margin here, although it is definitely tight. I think that there is a little bit of meat on the bones to continue to the downside. Now, if price does hit this weekly area of demand, I will be personally looking for a 4-hour trade to the upside coming off of this weekly demand. Why? Because we have a very strong weekly uptrend, and all this is simply is a pullback on the USDCAD. So I'll be interested in getting in long down here, but that will be for another weekly Forex forecast. Maybe next week if we can continue to see the US dollar push down. Now, there is on the daily chart, we are located right now inside of a daily area of demand, but I don't put a lot of weight on it because I think that price will actually ignore this daily demand, pull back to weekly demand down there, and then continue to push up. So right now, if you're looking to trade this right now and this week, then I think shorts are pretty much the only option until we can hit this weekly demand at, like I said, at 1.317. And shorts are only an option on 1-minute, 5-minute, and even 15-minute charts, although I would stick to the 1-minute and the 5-minute charts. And remember, like I said, if we do see a pullback on the USDCAD and on the US dollar, then this 4-hour area of supply at 1.351 is definitely a good area to potentially look to short. And then all shorts on those time frames, profits should be taken or stops should be moved up at 1.317 as we contact that weekly area of demand. All right, on to the AUDUSD, the Aussie dollar forecast. The past week, it's obviously a theme in this whole video. We are seeing 4-hour and 1-hour uptrends with momentum shifting to the upside. So as always, longs are okay, but only on the day trading timeframes. I'm getting sick of repeating that, but the reason I keep saying that is because some people come to the forecast and they just want to look at one pair, so that is why I'm repeating it. So there's a few options. Set and forget trades on 1-minute, 5-minute, and 15-minute charts are definitely okay. And just a reminder, like I mentioned earlier, I do have in my trading tips playlist in the link down below videos on set and forget trading. Now, if price pulls back to this area of 4-hour demand that's located at 0.661, we could look for a 15-minute time frame confirmation trade to the long side to continue with this overall 4-hour uptrend. Now, it is possible we see momentum die on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart and we pull back to this daily area of demand. That's also a very similar area of demand as a lot of the other charts. So if price does pull back to this daily area of demand at 0.65, I would be interested in potentially getting in long on a 1-hour confirmation trade to the upside. And the reason that I feel comfortable doing that, although we have, a overall weekly downtrend, is because if I blow up this weekly chart here, if we do get the pullback to weekly demand like that, there's definitely profit margin to weekly supply that is located at 0.68. So that is why I'd be interested in getting in long. And I love to get in long against, I don't love to get in long against a trend, but I love seeing trade opportunities when the profit margin is extremely clear. And to also be clear with you guys, if price, whether or not I get a long trade in or whatever, if price pulls back to this weekly area of supply at 0.68, I will 100% be interested and looking for 4-hour confirmation trades to the downside off of that weekly supply. And why would I be doing that? Well, because we have a weekly downtrend pulling into a weekly supply zone with a lot of profit margin to the low down here. So that is why I'm waiting for that. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting in long. But if you do get in long, I would definitely look to take profits at 0.68, because I would say with a lot of certainty that we are most likely going to get a reaction off of that weekly supply. So that is why I think getting in long on lower time frames is fine. But I think, like I said, I think if we do get the pullback to weekly supply, I think we need to switch our focus to potentially getting in short, as it's a fantastic shorting opportunity on the AUDUSD. And a lot of these pairs are looking the same. So I do apologize that a lot of the analysis is basically the same, but I just wanted to be thorough for everybody. USDCHF forecast. Like all the others, we have 4-hour and 1-hour downtrends. So again, shorts are fine on lower time frames, day trading time frames, 1 minute and 5 minute and even 15-minute chart. If we do get a pullback to this 4-hour area of supply at 0.962, we could look for a 15-minute confirmation trade to the short side coming off of that 4-hour area of supply. Now, if we do get a pullback to the upside, which is definitely possible after such a large and fast move down, there's a very significant daily supply zone here at 0.98. So that would be a pretty good idea, or sorry, that would be a pretty good opportunity to look for a short trade coming off of that, because this is the supply zone that was responsible for removing all of this upward momentum and including this demand. So I think we could definitely see a reaction off of that daily supply if price pushes up to there. But in the meantime, there is clearly profit margin to the downside. I would look to take profit on shorts at about 0.93. 0.93048 at that weekly area of demand. So hopefully, I think the best course of action is to wait for this 4-hour supply at 0.96317 for shorts on a 15-minute chart. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else to do here on USD Swiss. The overall trend on the weekly chart is still up, but clearly, momentum is down, and we want to be trading with momentum. So to summarize, USD Swiss, day trading time frame shorts are okay. As far as higher time frame shorts go, like if you want to swing trade short, I would either wait for this 4-hour supply to be hit or for this daily supply to be hit at 0.98323. All right, last but not least, we are on to crude oil, a pretty interesting chart. If the last couple forecasts, if you guys have been watching, I talked about how oil was probably going to react down here. We reacted perfectly off of that. The only problem is in this daily chart, we are kind of ranging right now. We are clearly stuck between supply and demand. But since higher time frame demand is in control, like the weekly chart in the 3-month area of demand, I think looking for longs is okay. So as far as trading this one goes now, the only setup I'm really seeing here on oil, and I do not recommend getting in short based on higher time frame demands being in control. So if you want to short, that's completely fine, but I'm not going to be talking about shorts on oil at this moment. So as far as longs go, there is a 4-hour area of demand down here at 87.368. I think looking for longs in this area are certainly okay. Whether you want to just get the long in there with a stop loss below with take profit at about 94.5. It depends on how much profit you want to look to get. I think that's fine, or you could look for a 15-minute confirmation trade coming off of that 4-hour area of demand. I personally am interested in this demand at 87.36 based on my macro chart analysis. And based on the weekly chart, if we do get in long down there, there's a lot of profit margin. You can even look to target $106 a barrel based on this weekly supply. And at that point, I think we could see a move down. So that is why I'm interested in getting in long on oil. I just think we need to be a little bit patient. Hopefully we get the pullback to 4-hour demand and we can possibly get in long with take profits at like 104 to 106. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.